Yes, welcome into Foxboro Rush. George Balekji here with my main man, Travis Thomas. We got plenty to cover today. But, Trav, before we get to that, how are we doing today, my friend?
I'm doing great, man. Talking football with you is always so refreshing, my friend. I can't wait to get into it, brother.
So today we're going to be talking about David Andrews, the vet of the team, longest tenured Patriot, getting a nice extension, keeping him in New England for the next 2 years. Jacoby Brissett, another vet who is tapped to be, and as we expect, to be the starting quarterback. With a big review of Drake May, we'll break down what he said. And finally, we've said our favorite games. We've given you the record predictions, but we're going to go game by game and giving you wins and losses this Patriots season. But Trav, let's start with the David Andrews news. Extension coming out, reported by ESPN. Now, he was entering the last year of his current deal with the Pats, which was a 4-year, $21 million contract. Well, now he'll be playing through the Patriots through 2025. This extension can pay him up to $13 million. Guaranteed $8 million for David Andrews, the captain, the starter since he was an undrafted free agent in 2015. What does this say to you that David Andrews is staying in New England for more than one season?
It says it's a status quo of the Patriots offseason. We've seen them do this all offseason. Now, granted, it was with younger core players, but try to get them wrapped up, get them all extended as they kind of enter the prime of their careers. In this case for Andrews, I mean, obviously he's a veteran. He's got a lot of miles on him, but he's still playing at a high level, and I think it's just showing that they're staying on brand by retaining their core pieces. Even though he's longer in the tooth than some of these young guys who got extensions, he's still a very important part of that core. And if anything, with this offensive line, and you talk about it being rebuilt, a little bit younger here, it's good to have a veteran in place, especially at that center position that's so important. He's still playing at a high level. And if you notice, this extension's not that long, right? I get the feeling with this guy that he's not going to play much longer. It just kind of seems like he has interest outside of football. I wouldn't be shocked if maybe this could be the last extension that he signs. We'll see. But for now, focusing on, both of us are anticipating this offensive line to struggle-ish this season. So this is a major piece to make sure that doesn't happen. Or if it does, it's minimal at best.
Yeah, this is a guy, 2023. So I'm getting used to the year 2024. 2023 was his 9th season in the NFL. And I remember being there after their final game of the year at locker room cleanout day. And David Andrews was candid where he didn't know what the future held for him. Now, he had a year left on his deal, but he said when asked, when are you going to make a decision? Where do you feel football-wise, mentally? And he's like, I'm just going to go to my farm. I'm going to sit on my tractor. I'm going to have some beers. I'm going to hang out with my son, and I'm going to figure it out. So just seeing him, not retire this offseason was big for the Patriots as they have a very young offensive line. But this extension, this is continuity. This is maturity. And that's a veteran voice for, your rookie quarterback in Drake May, and a young offensive line. I mean, Mike Onwenu's entering year 5. He's a stud at right tackle. We have Sidney So at right guard. This will be his second season. To his left, and Cole Strange going into year 3 of the NFL, or it'll be Layden Robinson, who's a rookie. And then at left tackle, it's either going to be Caden Wallace or Chuck Okorafor, 2 guys that are right tackles that are making the switch to left tackle. So I see this news. I think it's great. You have a captain that you're keeping in. And you mentioned it, Trav, with the Kyle Duggars, the Mike Onwenu's, the Christian Barmores, right? Even the Hunter Henrys, the leaders in the room, giving them these either long-term or short-term extensions. You want your leadership to be there. But David Andrews, since coming into the league as an undrafted free agent out of Georgia in 2015, he has started 117 out of the possible 131 games for the Pats. Now, he lost 2019 due to medical condition with blood clots found in his lungs. But this is a guy that's the epitome of the Patriot way. That's been there since Gerard Mayo has been there. He's a leader in the locker room, on the field. You need it with a young coaching staff, a very young offensive line, and in general, just a younger roster that should be better offensively. And when I think of David Andrews, I think of after an awful 2023 season where they only won 4 games. After every single game, good, bad, awful, he was the first guy to come out and speak to the media, kind of the sacrificial lamb, taking a lot of bullets in a season where your head coach wasn't saying much, your quarterback in Mac Jones was saying nothing. Bailey Zappi not answering much either. He was great. He could come out and he could be prickly, but he was giving us honest answers. He wasn't giving us nothings. and he would give the media time. Now, no one cares about us. I get it. I don't care about us either. I don't care about myself. But David Andrews, the epitome of a professional. I think that's big for him to have this extension, and good for him to get paid one more time. He'll be 32 when this season kicks off. This will be his 10th year in the NFL. Came a long way for an undrafted free agent to get this kind of money. And, like you said, too, one more contract. I mean, 2025, once that's done, we'll see if he still wants to play.
We'll see. I wouldn't be shocked if that's it, George. But here's the thing. I mean, this is a transition period for this franchise, too. We understand that. They are young.
Yep.
We did just talk about young guys getting extensions and coming into their prime. But what you just spoke about was leadership, and that's what he is. And think about this, too. Center to quarterback exchange. I mean, we're talking about a quarterback in Drake May who is learning how to take snaps under center. So what do you think you need? You don't need another young guy trying to figure it out with him. You need a veteran. You need someone to give this kid some tips of the trade, right? Hey, man, try this, do that. So I think it's critical to get this extension done in this time period more so than worrying about down the line. He's going to make his decision if he wants to stay with the Patriots, if he wants to even keep playing football or not. I would not. I don't know anything. It's just my opinion. I would not be shocked if this is the end after this extension is up. But right now is the most critical time you need him for anyways, George, because you're in this rebuild. It's this youth movement offensively. So to have the veteran steady hand, especially at that center position, which is important, it's clutch.
Yeah, David Andrews, he's played over 1,000 snaps 2 of the last 3 seasons.
Wow.
And according to PFF as well, 1 penalty last year was accounted on him. So over 1,000 snaps, played every offensive snap. Exactly. The consistency's there. And you mentioned it too, with Drake May literally relearning how to even take shotgun snaps. I mean, leading with his left foot instead of his right foot. That's Alex Van Pelt. Learning a new system. A lot of these guys learning a new system. The offensive linemen around him, it's huge to have this vet. Now, they drafted Jake Andrews, who was a center last year, while also taking Antonio Mafia and City So. You go back the draft before, Cole Strange was the 29th overall pick.
Yep.
Then this past April in the draft, they took Layden Robinson, another interior offensive lineman. If you're keeping score at home, that's 5 interior offensive linemen taking in the last 3 drafts.
Guards and centers.
And given this is a new regime in the front office and transitioning to a wide zone run scheme compared to the power zone scheme they were running before. So it's a lot of change going on. It's just good to have a consistent voice and a consistent leader, especially for Jacoby Brissett and especially for Drake May, coming in, learning a new system and being the new guys under center.
Yeah, I mean, listen, in my career, every offensive lineman that I've interviewed, whether they're guard, center, or tackle, have all said the same thing, which is the best way for an offensive line to gel is to run the football. So I understand now that it's a new, scheme offensive line-wise, but what matters is running the damn ball. So you need a healthy Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah.
You need Antonio Gibson to provide the versatility that he can.
Yeah.
And this is why I say you don't want to wait too long on this Drake May thing, because Jacoby Brissett, the quintessential traditional pocket passer, my man is a statue back there. Drake May can move. So all of a sudden now, you can help that. I actually think you can help the offensive line out in totality with playing a guy like Drake May, because he brings that wrinkle to the offense. He's just another running threat in addition to Ramondre and Antonio Gibson. So, I think you can almost help this offensive line out in a way by getting a Drake May sooner than later. I obviously understand where you're coming from. You don't want to get him out there too early and get him crushed where the offensive line is a detriment. But there is a fine line here where, hey, you're not doing this line any favors in their growth, in their development, by playing Jacoby Brissett too long, because it's not what Drake May is. It's not what Drake May is going to be. I think you need to get Drake May so this offensive line can figure out how to block for him, okay? When he leaves the pocket, he does this. He might boogie on you. He might buy some time to throw it, so I need to stay in pass pro. Or, as I was saying, George, you really want to be creative, which I hope I see in the Drake May era. You can run some plays where you get this guy out on a bootleg and let him boogie, let him run. That helps an offensive line.
Yeah.
Just being able to line up and mow people down in run protection. That's what they do.
And the Patriots, came into this offseason with the most cap room.
Right.
Still have the most cap room, around $50 million in cap space. That's still cash to burn, as Gerard Mayo says. And a lot of people are like, yeah, exactly. But spend it. Well, these are the moves they're still making, like David Andrews' extension. All right, get that done.
Yeah.
The guys we mentioned previously, Kendrick Bourne's included in that too. And we know Matt Judon.
I think Judon's up.
He's up. I mean, he did his hold in where he wasn't practicing last offseason until he got some more guaranteed money in his deal and got money moved up. But still, this is a guy that's going to be basically, this is the last year of a deal for him. Next year's a dummy year.
Right.
He wants guaranteed money.
Yeah, of course he does.
He might be the final domino to fall. And as a premier pass rusher, and someone, think about it, they brought Josh Uche back, 1 year, $3 million.
Right.
And we saw Uche's numbers drop off once Matt Judon got injured against the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
That proved his value up front to this defense. That's a guy we could see another 2-year, maybe 3-year extension come in.
I would
and with
think
some guaranteed money. You need to get that deal done. You need Matt Judon practicing with you day one, especially for this young defensive coaching staff outside of Gerard Mayo.
Yeah.
But also for years to come, because that's guy's a centerpiece. You have Matt Judon, you have Christian Barmore, you have Kyle Duggar. That's all 3 levels of someone that can be a high-impact player on this defense.
I completely agree. And you're not talking about being the highest paid defensive player in the league here.
Guaranteed money.
Guaranteed money, and he should be towards that upper echelon. And how the Patriots can protect themselves, as you and I keep talking about so far in this show, youth movement, future, rebuild. We're using words like this. But a guy like Judon, the way you protect yourself is you give him the guarantee money, you give him the cash, but you keep it short term. You just keep it short term. You said it. Add 2 or 3 years to that deal on the back end of this deal. Cool. And give him the guarantee money. Give him a signing bonus. And you're still protecting yourself, because I'm not concerned that he has injury issues, but we saw him get banged up. He's getting older. So just in case he comes back, he plays well, and he gets hurt again, I don't have a 5-6 year deal with this guy. I have 2 or 3 years. He's happy because he's making the money. And then you knock on wood that he stays healthy and he gets back to being the monster that he is.
Remember, Matt Judon coming off a torn pectoral. All right, Trav, we're going to do one of my favorite things now.
All right.
Let's go through the Patriots offensive line.
Oh, okay.
You know who the center is this year. We know who it's going to be in 2025.
Yeah.
So David Andrews, box checked. Right guard, Sidney So.
Yeah.
He was their starter from week 6 and on. Just allowed only 4 sacks his final 12 games. Year 2 player, showed growth, was good in the run game and pass pro. Check that box.
Yep.
At right tackle, Mike Onwenu, who was the best offensive tackle in free agency this year.
Yep.
And when he's moved from guard to right tackle, the Patriots offensive line has had its best play game in and game out when he's at that right tackle spot. So that's fun. The right side, the center. I mean, it's all solidified for the Pats. Then you look at left guard. Cole Strange entering year 3. Now, obviously, he's a polarizing pick because Bill Belichick traded back from 21 to 29, took Cole Strange. Everyone remembers Sean McVay and who's it, Les Snead.
They were laughing.
They're like, that's a guy we saw going in the round 3 or 4, but 29th overall. And he's been banged up. And this is more of a athletic guard than strong guy and a mauler. We've seen bull rushes give him trouble, but also his first 2 years be banged up, and even this past year ended the season on the IR and had to get off-season knee surgery done. Battled, I don't know if he was ever healthy, because in one-on-ones he got injured during training camp for the Patriots. Sat out pretty much all 11-on-11 football until the season began. So who knows if he was ever right, but it'll either be him or rookie Layden Robinson at the left guard spot. Then at left tackle, either have rookie Caden Wallace, who's 24 years old, 40 career starts at right tackle for Penn State, making the swing over to left tackle, or Chuck Okorafor, who is a 6-year NFL vet and has played all but 2 snaps at right tackle, excuse me. So 2 career snaps at left tackle in 6 years, over 2,000 at right tackle when he was with the Steelers. So that left side looks a little suspect, T.
Well, I tell you what I heard as you ran through all those players. This was what was translated through my brain. Ready?
I love the Travis translations.
Ready? Run the damn ball. That's what I heard. I heard a lot of big boys up front. Great. Run the bleeping ball. I've been screaming this for 2 years now with this team, since I got in town here. Run the ball. Ramondre Stevenson, now, I'll be honest, I have some concerns here with this guy, because every time you look up, He's tweaking an ankle.
Yeah.
Something's bothering him. And the other thing with him that I'm getting a little impatient with, I keep waiting for the flash. I keep waiting for him to pop and be consistent for a whole season. He'll give you a game or two here or there when he gets the carries. This is what drove me crazy the past few years. He's one of those throwback running backs, George. He has to get carries to be effective. This is not Christian McCaffrey, where he could touch the ball 10 times and affect the game. You got to feed this guy. Antonio Gibson is capable of running between the tackles, but he can also take a toss. He can also run counter. He can also catch out of the backfield. These are all offensive linemen's BFFs. Please, for the love of all things holy in the football universe, run the bleeping ball. This team, George, as we know, ranked dead last in the NFL in offense. Run the bleeping ball, please. I know on this show and others, all we talk about is Drake May and how long till he gets in and what will Jacoby Brissett do and who's going to be the wide receiver one. We don't have the answers to any of that. You know what helps answer all of that?
Yeah.
A run game. Run the ball.
I'm surprised to hear that from the guy that wants Drake May starting week 1. Not going to lie.
Yeah, but you know what? I want Drake May to be successful no matter what week he's in. And you know what is a rookie?
I think we just made a middle ground, my friend.
A rookie quarterback's best friend
is a run game.
Come on now.
I mean, any offense's best friend is a run game. Sets up the play action pass.
Run
you want those bootlegs from Drake May?
Run it.
It's play action.
You know who wants you to run the ball more than anyone else on the universe? Is the offensive line.
Oh, yeah, of course. That's the fun part.
It's what they love.
Instead of them, getting into a pass pro and then having the best athlete on the field just crash into him like a car. Right. Just getting their ass kicked backwards 5 yards, and then Drake May gets snacked or Jacoby Brissett. No, I agree with that. And that is what's going to be the bread and butter. And given this is Alex Van Pelt, where we saw this Cleveland Browns offense sustain itself after they lost their top 3 offensive tackles, after they lost their best player on offense in Nick Chubb, after they've had no semblance of a really dynamic, explosive pass game under Deshaun Watson. Joe Flacco took them to the playoffs, and Joe Flacco won a playoff game. And the receiving core is good, not great. Now, given David Njoku is a better athlete than anything the Patriots have on the roster, and their receivers that they had too, and they get Jerry Jeudy as an upgrade going into this year. But what the tools they were working with, that's what excites me is that, if you could find consistency out of this offensive line, I like it. I think Cole Strange is their week 1 starter at left guard. I want to see him healthy. Yeah. I think in a wide zone run game, it's better for his athleticism than what they were running. I think Layden Robinson will be a developmental guy because his pass pro is still unproven coming out of college.
Yep.
But no matter what, that left tackle scares me. Now, speaking of the offensive line.
I just love that no one loves offensive lines like you. It is, I mean, honest to God, it's really impressive how much you love the offensive line.
Because they're so important.
They are.
Before you build a home, you need to get the foundation,
right?
Yep. Right?
Yep.
I sound like my dad. I can't believe I just aged 43 years.
Well, it's true.
There.
I mean, if you look at all the championship teams, too, in recent Super Bowls, none in which have bad offensive lines. At worst case scenario, your offensive line is solid, right?
Yeah.
But most of your championship teams always have elite, if not great, offensive lines.
Even look at the one time Patrick Mahomes didn't win when he was in the Super Bowl.
That's right.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive line dominated his offensive line.
Yeah.
Dominated that. And that led to their demise.
Yep.
Now, we talked about what would be the best friend for, any offense and any rookie quarterback. But the best friend for a rookie quarterback, too, is also the veteran starter or the veteran mentor. And in that case, that's Jacoby Brissett for the Patriots. He spoke with the media on Thursday, and he had some interesting quotes. This comes from Mass Live's Mark Daniels. Speaking about Drake May, he, quote, can make all of the throws. He wants to learn football, and he wants to get better. That's what you want, not only in your quarterback, but anybody on the team. I'm excited to work with him. He also said this. He, as in Drake May, is already texting me about plays and how do I think about this and cadence and stuff like that. Just all the little nuances of being in this position at this level. Hell yes to get this from Drake May. That he is reaching out to Jacoby Brissett and being in a collaborative work dynamic with him and wanting to learn from him.
That's
has that curiosity, doesn't have the ego of Jacoby Brissett doesn't know anything. Let me talk to my quarterback coach, or I'm Drake May. I'm the number 3 overall pick. I have everything figured out. But he's reaching out to him, Ask him about the little things like cadence, because he knows, and he came in, salt of the earth, humble into, I'm learning how to take snaps. You mentioned it, to get under center. He has to relearn how to take shotgun snaps. But this is a kid that's coming in willing to learn, and I love he's reaching out to Jacoby Brissett, who should be the week 1 starter and is his mentor, and a veteran quarterback that's been through the ringer in the NFL.
Yeah, he has.
And been through multiple systems, multiple teams, multiple situations, and reaching out to him to learn.
You know what's interesting? As you were talking, I wasn't so much thinking about Drake May, because you're right. It's all great news. I was thinking more about Jacoby Brissett in the sense of, and you just said, been with multiple teams, a ton of experience, been around the league, been there, done that. And I started thinking of him in a class of, is he looking at a Geno Smith who resurrected his career in Seattle? Is he looking at a Baker Mayfield to a certain extent who resurrected his career in Tampa? Although Baker's younger, but you get where I'm going here. Guys with multiple stops, guys who necessarily weren't thought of as franchise guys after they were somewhere for a while.
That's Baker. I mean, he was with the Rams. Remember, he was a dump in the midseason.
That's Geno Smith. Gardner Minshew comes to mind, who's now your starting quarterback for the Raiders. Played really well in Indy last season. So I kind of think of Jacoby Brissett in that class. However, the difference is Jacoby Brissett took this job knowing he came back to New England, knowing he didn't know who, but he knew they were going to draft a quarterback.
Yeah.
He knew he would likely be a stopgap guy. So likely Jacoby Brissett, if he is going to have a renaissance as a Geno Smith, as a Baker Mayfield, as a Gardner Minshew, much like those guys, he's probably going to have to do it elsewhere.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, George, this is an audition. Jacoby Brissett knows it. He already knew. I'm going to be a stopgap guy for whoever they draft. So because of that, I think his mentality is spot on here.
Yeah.
Bring the kid along. Be nice to the kid. I think Jacoby's a nice guy anyway, so that's easy. But be nice to the kid. Bring him on. Give him whatever knowledge I can. On my end, ball out for however long I'm here. And then next season and beyond, try to get somewhere where maybe I have resurrected my career enough where someone thinks, you know what, let's give Jacoby Brissett a 1-year deal, prove it deal, like Geno got. And then Geno got the bag on the back end of that. We see Baker now, got the bag in Tampa. So I think Jacoby's a perfect mindset for this specific job here in New England. But I also am hoping he plays well enough, George, because I want to get to Drake May, ASAP Rocky. But I hope Brissett plays well enough that when he does go to the bench, it's not a negative. It's something where another team says, you know what? I love the way he played for New England. Let's take a chance on him, bring him in, and give him a chance to maybe be the guy.
Look at you. This is a watershed moment for you and I on this podcast.
Yeah.
You are the man that said, go out and run the ball.
Yeah.
Even if Drake May is at quarterback.
Yes.
And you're wishing for success for Jacoby Brissett.
Yes.
A successful season for Jacoby Brissett means Drake May plays later in the year.
Oh,
did I just ruin it now? See?
Hey,
But I agree with everything you just said.
We're going to go through the schedule, so you can tell me exactly where you think he's going to start anyway, where they'll make that handoff. But regardless, listen, whether it's 6 games, like really is where I'm thinking for Jacoby, or longer, like you think.
Yeah.
Either way, it's still an audition tape because we understand who the future is at quarterback in this town. It's Drake May or possibly Joe Milton. No. It ain't Jacoby Brissett.
It's Drake May. Well, and I love everything you point out about Brissett in that quote. Because this is also a guy, when he came into the league, like he was in a quarterback room and Jimmy Garoppolo and Tom Brady.
That's right.
So he learned how to be a quarterback from Tom Brady. Now, obviously not up to that level, and he has just under 50 career starts to his name.
Yep.
But he's popped around, and when he had to start for teams, he would just get the job done.
Yes.
If he can teach Drake May the basics of how not to F up a game plan,
that's right.
That's great.
Yes.
Because you know what Drake May does from there? He knows how to do things Jacoby Brissett can't even fathom. And
That's
this
right.
is purely talent-wise what we're talking about here. But if you learn how to not lose a game, that is huge for a quarterback. Just make the winning plays. And a winning play doesn't have to be getting a touchdown every 5 throws you make, or throwing for 400 yards. A winning play is protecting the football, taking a sack sometimes, going with the check down, making that second, third read, getting the ball out quick, and that's everything Jacoby Brissett can teach him. Checking into a run play, which you'd like to hear in this spot. So I love these quotes from Jacoby because it just shows the dynamic they have, which sounds healthy, where he's talking about Drake May texting him, where Drake is eager to learn from him, and for Brissett to share it, where he's saying, look, I'm a mentor. I get it. You know, I've been on the opposite side of this. And me being an older player, I'm a mentor for all the guys on this team, not just the Drake Mays, but the Jalen Polks, the Javon Bakers, the Layden Robinsons, the Caden Wallaces, you know, all these young offensive players I have to teach how to play football and shoot, maybe even the Ramondre Stevensons. But it shows a collaborative effort between the two of them. And with Alex Van Pelt teaching Drake May how to be an NFL quarterback, and Ben McAdoo helping there too, but T.C. McCartney as well, and Evan Rothstein stepping in and helping Drake May along, to have that voice, that veteran voice in Jacoby Brissett, and someone that can, you know, be a mentor to him, give him advice, sound advice as a current player in today's NFL. I think that's huge in the relationship between Jacoby Brissett and Drake May.
By the way, last full season, Jacoby Brissett started. Because I started thinking, you know, I didn't hate him in Cleveland. I remember him playing a lot in Cleveland. He was a steady hand for them. Yeah. Remember they were going through all the Deshaun stuff. Sure enough, that was his last full season starting, 16 games, 64% completion percentage, 2,600 yards, sort of pedestrian there, 12 TDs, 6 picks, doesn't turn it over much. Quarterback rating of 88, 89. I mean, he's right there. Couple years in Indy, same thing, 2,900 yards, 18 touchdowns, 6 picks, 3,000 yards, 13 touchdowns, 7 picks. So you kind of know what he is, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
12 to 18 touchdowns in a season.
Yes, he's not dynamic enough, like a Drake May potentially, to win you a game, but he's certainly more often than not, George, not going to lose you a game. And that's the key there. Hey, for all the latest on the Celtics, check out Hold My Banner. We have an Eastern Conference Finals preview there. Check out the full episode on YouTube, Facebook, and wherever you get your podcasts. And make sure you follow us on all your social media accounts for all of our best content.
Hey, who hosts Hold My Banner, by the way?
That would be yours truly, sir.
My humble co-host. I had to give you the shout out there. You and Ante Campbell getting it done. All right, Trav, now we get to the favorite part. Now, if you guys have been listening to Foxboro Rush, which I advise you to do if you haven't, and if you have been, thank you. We love you for that. We're going to go game by game. We've given you our final record predictions, our favorite games. We spoke about ad nauseum, when is Drake May going to start. We're going to do the same thing right now because this conversation will unravel to that. But let's start with week 1.
All right.
Sunday, September 8th, 1 p.m. in Cincinnati. Is that a win or a loss for the Patriots, Travis?
By the way, just for context here, the Patriots are underdogs in every stinking game. Every stinking game. Now, with that being said, yes, it is a loss in the jungle to Joe Burrow and the Bengals. We know damn well Joe Burrow will be healthy this time of the year.
Yeah.
Look, here's what I need to see in this game, George, okay? Run the ball! Try to keep Joe Burrow on the sideline. Play solid defense. Keep this game close. If you're into gambling, this team should be able to cover on the road. With that formula, let's see Gerard Mayo. How does he handle if it is close? How does he handle clock management and decision makings to keep the chains moving? These are the things I want to see. I am not expecting them to go into the jungle and beat Joe Burrow, who is on his revenge tour. But can you keep it close? Can you keep it respectable? That's what I'm looking for in the opener.
You talk about them being underdogs in every game this season. Cincinnati Bengals, win, loss, over, under.
Yep.
10.5 games is what they're expected.
You're just betting on health.
So 10 wins or 11 wins. Yeah, you're betting on the health of Joe Burrow. This is going to be a big fat L to start the season. I mean, the Bengals are a much superior roster offensively. Yeah. And the defense, I mean, they've made some corrections. We know they have good defensive ends. Went out and signed Geno Stone from the Baltimore Ravens.
That's right.
Hopefully to fill that Jesse Bates-sized hole, but good secondary, great defensive coordinator, good defensive line. And then also, remember this, guys, this is a Trent Brown revenge game. He's now with the Cincinnati Bengals as their left tackle. Keep Joe Burrow up front. Keep him healthy. This is going to be an L for the Patriots, in my opinion. Start out 0-1 on the road It's also, you look at this, 3 of their first 4 games of the season will be away from Gillette. But their first home game, that's coming week 2.
Yep.
An exciting 1 p.m. kickoff again. This one against the Seattle Seahawks. You see this as a win or loss, Trev?
Hey, it's better to be 1 than 4 o'clock if they were playing in Seattle, so
Fair.
I'll take that. We damn sure know it wouldn't be prime time anyways. So this is a coin flip game. You know, you start going through the schedule and looking for dubs. They're hard to come by, but this is one of them. You know, obviously with a new coach there, we talked about Geno earlier in the show. Geno has played well in recent years, but certainly no one mistakes Geno Smith for Patrick Mahomes either, right? So this is a coin flip game, and that's why I go back to week 1 where I said, is my defense engaged?
Yeah.
Can Gerard Mayo at least keep the defense ship steady? If he can do that, then I feel good about the Seattle game at home. If Joe Burrow goes out and shreds the defense in week 1, there's no shame in that. It's Joe Burrow. We get it, and Jamar Chase. But I'm not going to feel as confident going into week 2 against an offense you should be able to match up against in Seattle. So I'll go coin flip game here, and I will give the Patriots benefit of the doubt, and I will give them a win.
Wow. I don't think there's a coin flip. I think this is a solid win by the Pats. Okay. Hey, nice start 1-1 out of the gate. But you mentioned for Geno Smith, I mean, with Shane Waldron now in Chicago and Ryan Grubb coming in as the Seahawks offensive coordinator, he's learning a whole new system. And for Ryan Grubb, it's his first time ever coaching at the NFL level. Now, he was the OC at Washington with Michael Penix and those 3 elite receivers where Penix was putting up video game numbers and looked like the best passer in college football, which he is. Luckily for Grubb, he goes from working with those 3 great receivers in Adunze, McMillan, and Polk to DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. But yeah, I'm with you. I just keep going back to Geno Smith. You know, a rookie head coach now, McDonald, coming over from the Baltimore Ravens as well, and was with Michigan before then. And also coming from the West Coast to the East Coast, 1 p.m. kickoff for New England. The defense will have the upper hand in this one, especially facing a Geno Smith. That's why I just give this one an easy win for the Patriots. It may not be easy come that Sunday, but it's
bold.
easy for me to say they will win this game.
Sure.
I just don't believe in Geno Smith learning a new system. 2 years ago, he was great when he said, you know, what was it? Everyone wrote me off. I didn't write them back type, and everyone's like, that's bars. Love that. And then last season came back down to earth. I think this is a win for the Patriots. Now, week 3, your favorite team in the NFL.
Gross.
The Patriots go to the Jets. Also, keep in mind, their only primetime game of the entire season.
That's it.
Thursday night in New York, Aaron Rodgers actually playing the Patriots as a Jet for the first time.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, and I assume his Achilles doesn't explode 4 snaps into the season.
Right.
What do you have on this one in New York at MetLife Stadium on Thursday night?
Jot this down in your notes so we don't have to do this when we get back to this.
I got my notes up.
I have them splitting with the Jets this season. So I will take them beating the Jets at home when they come back on the back end of October. But they will lose this game in prime time at home for the Jets. I think the Jets are going to need this game more than the Patriots. With all those primetime games the Jets have, I don't think, especially early on in their schedule, I don't think it's going to take all of us long to figure out, yourself included, that this team is not going to be what we think they are. I do not buy the Jets hype at all. I think they will fail. I think the Aaron Rodgers experience will fail. The coach will be fired at the end of the season, and they will move off of Aaron Rodgers and start the rebuild with the Jets yet again. With that being said, early in the season here, they're still in the thick of it. They're looking at that Patriots matchup on their schedule and saying, thank God, we need to get a primetime win here. So give me the Jets early. But back end, when they come to the Patriots, that is a loss. That's a win for the Patriots.
I love the short-term prediction, long-term prediction, too. Just the doom of the Jets again.
Yes.
Remind me, before we do the next Foxboro Rush, I have to look up the dead cap number for Aaron Rodgers to see if they'd actually move off with him. But I wouldn't be surprised if they move off of Robert Saleh. But 3 games into the season, this is a top 5 defense in the NFL. Don't get it mixed up at all. This is an offense that got better. You got Tyron Smith at left tackle. They drafted Olufashinu, who could play either side of the offensive line.
That's right.
Your receiving room got better. Yes, I know. Mike Williams, always injured. Trust me, I know. They got Malachi Corley in the draft as well. Play that with Garrett Wilson. I'm assuming Aaron Rodgers is at quarterback.
Right.
He can correct the Nathaniel Hackett mistakes. the Patriots offense won't be able to keep up with this Jets offense. A, because they don't have the firepower or talent. B, because they're playing a better defense than what they even face every day in practice themselves. This one being at MetLife, Thursday Night Football, big rivalry. Jets fans hate the Patriots. It's going to be loud there. This will be an L. By the way, Seattle Seahawks, regular season win total, 7.5. The Jets, that one's at 9.5. This next team, the San Francisco 49ers, at 11.5. Again, 3 of their first 4 games of the season on the road. This one is in San Fran, 4 o'clock kickoff, so later in the day for the Pats.
Bro, I know we have the whole schedule to get through.
Yep.
I'm going to save time.
Okay.
You're going out west to face Shanahan. Good luck. This is an L. Next.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
What I want to go to really quick, week 4, and everyone listening, I'm going through the ESPN scheduling of us to see, all right, later windows, 4:05, cool.
Yep.
So the Patriots kickoff against the Niners, week 4, 4:05 kickoff, and this is a Fox game. Arizona, Washington, 4:05. That's on Fox, and it sounds okay.
Nah.
The 2 CBS games is Cleveland, Vegas, and Kansas City, Los Angeles. I would expect that Chargers-Chiefs game to be, the big one in the late window.
I would think so.
But Patriots at San Francisco on Fox, you know who could be in the booth for that game?
No.
Tom Brady.
Come on.
You think they would put him on Washington, Arizona?
No. Well,
It is
that's a
Jaden
good
Daniels
point.
against Kyler Murray, but it's Tom Brady's team against his childhood team in San Francisco, and it is the 49ers.
Yeah.
Why not get TB12 in the booth for that? It'll be a Patriots L, by the way. You like the way I did that one?
I like that. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
I think Tom Brady's calling that game, just getting way ahead of it. But you look at those 4 o'clock windows. Fox has 2 games. The Cardinals-Commanders game just still doesn't do it for me. You have the 49ers, and you have Fox, and you have Tom Brady. And again, Tom Brady in the booth. Think about the cutaways, in this one. I mean, they're showing Shanahan. They're showing Brock Purdy, a 7th-round pick, what he is. Then they cut to the 6th-round pick and Tom Brady in the booth. Then they cut to Tom Brady as a Patriot. Then they cut to Tom Brady as a little kid dressed up as a 49ers fan.
The only thing missing is I'd rather hear Tom break down Drake May. And what he's doing wrong, what he's doing right. We're not going to get that at that point of the season.
But they could also be talking about Tom Brady breaking down what it's like to be sitting and not starting, because he did sit behind Drew Bledsoe to start his Hall of Fame GOAT career.
Yep.
So through 4 games, the Patriots are 1-3.
Yeah, we agree.
We just want to keep us going. All right, now luckily they come back home Sunday, October 6th, against the Miami Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa. By the way, Tua has never lost a game against the Patriots.
Yeah,
does he catch an L here?
It's not going to happen. I think the Dolphins sweep them this year. I'll save you time on the back end here as well.
This is your team in the AFC.
This is my team. I think they win the AFC East, and then I think they pull the Dolphins, and they get in the playoffs, and they go somewhere cold, and it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
But I think they actually run away with the AFC East. It's one of my favorite bets of the NFL season coming up.
Okay.
I believe the Bills take a step back. The Patriots, we understand where they're at, and I'm not buying the hype of the Jets. I think the Dolphins, who feel like a regular season team, Tua feels like a regular season quarterback, I think they're going to be rolling, and they're going to make people believe that, maybe this is the year. You got to pay Tua. They could go to the Super Bowl, and then, they could even win a playoff game, George. I wouldn't be shocked. But what I saw when that team went to Kansas City, and it was bone dry cold, those boys ain't won it. And I said, that's going to be a problem for them, because there's a lot of cold weather, really good teams in the AFC. Hopefully the Patriots return at some point. So I like the Jets to sweep them this year.
All right. I got Dolphins. I'm catching a big fat L. This offense will be healthy. Yeah. Big fat L for the Patriots. Their offense will be healthy at this point. They got even better at receiver, adding Odell Beckham Jr. as a vet, as a wide receiver 3 or 4. But we just saw the troubles that Mike McDaniels in this offense gave the Patriots defense last season with the motions coming out of the slot. Everyone's saying they're cheating, and they're just figuring out how to manipulate the rules. Yeah, Patriots get the win here. That's an L. Dolphins get the win here. That's an L for the Patriots.
Yep.
Then the following week, this is when it gets fun. C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans. The darling of last season, C.J. Stroud, the talented quarterback. And keep in mind, because the Dolphins win-loss total is set at 9.5. Houston Texans, 9.5 as well. Again, another winning team. I have this as an L as well with the Texans.
Man, this is an L.
Okay.
Bro, that's 1, 2, 3. That's 4 losses in a row, dog.
Yep.
We got to get a dub, but I can't bet against the Texans this year. You said it. You said all the stars, and it's true. I mean, obviously it's here, so you get some home field advantage, but that offense, that's a professional offense right there. And you're going against 2 of them. You're going against 3 of them back-to-back weeks. I ain't giving you the Jets. Niners with Brock Purdy, Tua, the Dolphins, and McDaniels in that offense, and then the Texans with Stroud and all them weapons. My goodness gracious. I think this could be ugly. I really believe in the Texans this year. That could be a Super Bowl team for all we know. I think that's an L, George.
All right. You know where they get their dub, though? Next game. In London.
Yeah.
Against the Jaguars. 9:30 kickoff here on the East Coast of the United States of America. And, yeah, I mean, this is just their easy break. I don't think the Jaguars are going to be that great of a team. This, to me, is more of a coin flip because I think Trevor Lawrence could be better, but I don't know. I just think the Patriots win this one. And I think this is one that's going to be the heartbreak. Like, the Pats get all these international games in Germany and London, wherever they are. This is a home game for the Jaguars, but I'll just go with the better defense in this one. I don't feel great like I did again about the Seahawks, but I get the Patriots getting a win, and they're 2-5 on this year at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing reports that the Jaguars are considering signing Trevor Lawrence to a Jared Goff-like extension.
That's the market. Tua is going to get that money,
I think that is such a big mistake for both. I'm out on Trevor Lawrence. I've seen enough. Last year was a real big litmus test for me where I said this guy has got to get this team back into the playoffs, and then he has to get over the hump. He's got to win a couple playoff games. We got to see him play better in the postseason. I need to see him play better down the stretch of a regular season because I've seen him fade in both instances. It almost seems like he's regressed. He's either regressed or he's at his ceiling. I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
And if Doug Peterson can't get it out of you, I just can't trust it. I think I'm out on Trevor Lawrence here. So I'm going to go win here for the Patriots in London. You mentioned how London's basically the Jaguars' home game, but not enough where it matters. I don't think that matters. It still feels very neutral field to me. I'm going to go Patriots here in a coin flip game.
You know, it'd be great if this game was a blowout, like Patriots winning by a ton and Mac Jones gets put in.
Oh.
Mac Jones revenge game, but it'll still be an L for the Jaguars. New York Jets. This one's
I
at
already
home.
told you I'm splitting. So I got this as a win.
This one.
Yep.
I see the Jets sweeping the Patriots. I'm predicting a healthy team, better offensive line. You know, I speak about this defense. I think the Jets win the division. I don't think the Patriots will get a division win this year, but we'll get there.
Oh.
How about the following week on the road at the Titans?
Winnable.
This is a winnable game.
I mean, this is one you circle.
Down as a dub.
Look, Will Levis, were you impressed with what you saw when, he had a game or two, he put up big numbers, then he came back to earth. He looked like every young quarterback. He shows you flashes where you think, oh, boy, he could be really good. But then it's like, is he really good? He turns the ball over. He doesn't make great decisions. You see some of the things that haunted him in college now, haunting him in the NFL as well. I think this is an opportunity not only for the Patriots to win, but for a young team to understand what it feels like to go on the road. Obviously, you're going to London, but I believe you could go to Tennessee and get that same thing accomplished. I believe the Patriots go there and get a win.
True road win. Great point there. What about the following week? Back on the road against your boy, future Hall of Famer, Caleb Williams.
Winnable game again. I'm going to go L here because you mentioned Caleb Williams. I think he's about to take this league by storm, and I think, the Patriots would have their hands full with him. If I'm wrong about him, that's a winnable game. In the same way I just talked about Will Levis and the Titans. I don't believe in Will Levis, but I could be wrong. If Will Levis is a stud, that's no longer a winnable game. If I'm wrong about Caleb Williams and he's not a stud, that Bears game's winnable. But being on the road, I'll take the Bears to win that. Loss for the Patriots.
10 weeks into the season, we have the Patriots at 3-7. Drake May talk's going to come out very early.
Sure.
And I don't blame the fans. It's all about the ownership of saying and being patient and fighting off those wolves of the marketing.
Yeah.
And we got to be relevant. And Robert Kraft saying, I need my boy to be marketable. I don't want to even say what that impersonation was. But it's going to be ugly for the Patriots. And I don't hate this. You know, we're head-to-head on the Jets in a way.
Yeah.
You find them getting a win. I still have them 3-7 at that point. Thanks for watching this episode and listening to this episode of Foxboro Rush. For Travis, Thomas, and George Balekji, we'll catch you guys on next time's episode.